Hey guys, this is Jamie and welcome back to December album using Heidi Swapp Winter Wonderland and a Studio Calico 6-ring binder and also a lot of ideas from the Ali Edwards Product Play 3 class. Okay, so today we're going to be working on day 9, day 10, 11 is going here, and 12 is actually going to be part. It's going to be a small little book here sitting on these 3 binders. Okay, so what I always like to do is add to my stories is the kids and their right now pictures. So kind of a look at, and it's not necessarily always right now, it could be just their photo shoot of their birthday. So what I have already done, this is a pre-made page, as you can tell. This is just simply an exercise in trimming out, or if you have a punch, there's a great Fisker's punch out there, but these hexagon shapes. And then I just fit them into place. And as I said in my foundations page video, that I kind of think it looks like a quilt when it's all done. That's actually what my daughter said to me. And so it kind of does. So you can see I left some white spaces here for the photos. And I have already taken the time to trim up these photos of my kids. So there's 5 pictures here, already in a hexagon shape. And I made them a little bit bigger than the existing hexagon shape. I kind of like that idea. And then what I'll need to do here on these end pieces is just go back and trim them up. That's not a big deal by any means. But I'm still going to be using, I'm still going to be using their space, but I don't really love that right there. So I think I'm going to be moving this one. Oh, I thought I had made a decision where I was going to move this. Now I'm not so sure where that's going to go. And then I wonder if it maybe it does just, maybe I just go ahead and elevate it there above that one. And then maybe pull this one down a little bit. I think I'm going to do that and not try. It's a little different when you have, because I have 5 photos, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 rows, but I only have 4 spaces apart. Does that make sense? So I can't really put this over here. The same thing over here. I'd be overlapping this. So I think I'll just use pop-up dots and let that one pop up there, and I'll let this one stay flat. So I'm going to put that in place, but you get the idea. I already have my day number here, and this is part of the Product Play 3 class. That was a cut file that was involved in that class. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get these in place and trim them out and show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm just finishing trimming out the edges. Oops, I cut that one almost a little too. I might have to go back and fix that one, but easy enough fix. Okay, so I kind of like the way this turned out. And again, I'm going to just repeat, and this could be a note for next year. I just really appreciate having these pre-made foundation pages. Not every day is pre-made by any means, but a lot are, because I knew already what kind of story I wanted in place. And so this is done. Day 9's done. Day 10 is going to be just about as simple. Okay, so you see the day 10 cutout. It's kind of fun. This was also part of the Product Play 3 class. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You could obviously make that on your own if that's something you're interested in. I use the American Craft DIY shop transparency with the gold stars. I love that. And so I just added to the gold stars on the cardstock. And then, I don't know if you can tell, but I added a gold star over here because I just kind of wanted those 2 pages to play nice with one another. And then what I have here, as you can tell, part of the handout was the Loving printable. I went in and added Bella Boulevard numbers to each one. But right now I'm going to slip this out and just add in what I am loving right now. I super appreciate this prompt because I don't know that I would have thought about it on my own. I like the idea of stopping and slowing down and taking note of what is happening right now on this day. So as actually the day went on, because I'm doing these all at one time, I'm not doing this on the 10th, but as the 10th went on and I knew what my prompt was, I just made notes in my daily jotter as things came to the surface of my mind. And so I'm going to go in and just grab my journal pen and go ahead and fill that in right now. All right, that is that. How great is that? I really do love this idea. I think I'll need to implement this. Oops, I shouldn't have closed that yet. I think I'm going to need to implement this in years to come. It just makes me happy to have this kind of documentation in this kind of a book. Okay, and actually I'm not going to put that back in there yet because I'm going to flip it over, because over here on this side I had already predetermined. I'm just going to go ahead and use this as my backer. But I like to include, the story I want to tell here is the story of my wrapping paper, which is actually super simple this year. But that's kind of part of the story. It's kind of part of where I am right now in a lot of my life. Attempting to just kind of stick with essentials. One thing about having some pretty basic wrapping paper is that you can have a lot of fun with the tags or the name tags or the bow. Adding cut files, if you saw that post of mine, that was really fun. And I'm going to actually, I want to turn this down because I think for being in here like this, I think I wanted to have a bit of a border. Let me see what I think that's going to look like. No, actually I'm going to keep it. So I just need to add that in place. I have started a little bit of wrapping and was getting some packages ready. So I had some supplies out and I just snapped a picture of them. In the past, I've had my youngest, and he was kind of little at the time, but he held a bunch of rolls of wrapping paper, which was cute because he could barely hold them. And so I love that picture. Okay, so that's how day 11 goes. I needed to add, though, thinking of adding in my number for this. And I have a bunch of these cut off hearts. Let's say stars instead. I don't know if that's quite going to work, or I think actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think I want to just add in these puffy numbers from Winter Wonderland. I think that's what I want to do. I think I like the idea of having them just sitting right here on the photo. I have had no rhyme or reason how my numbers have gone in this year. They've all been different. In the past, I have had all my numbers be the very same thing, but this time I've totally changed that up. Okay, guys, so we have day 10, or day 9, day 10, and day 11 in place. I'm liking that. Okay, let's move on to day 12. Okay, for day 12, I decided that I want to have a book attached to these lower 3 rings in my album. So, not quite sure how this is going to work out yet, so we're going to play for a few moments. But why not? Because we got the other pages done so quickly that by having a lot of pre-made pages done or having prompts, then it kind of gives you a little bit of time and space to go and have maybe a page that takes a little bit more time and construction. I have pre-printed, the story I'm going to tell here is of my son's concert, and I took a couple pictures of him here at the house. And actually, the story isn't so much about the concert as it is about him posing for these photos, because they were just so darn cute. And he was very intentional about how he wanted these photos to be posed. Okay, so I'm going to think this through a little bit, because I know I want about a 1/2 inch here. I want to measure on where these holes are sitting. Yeah, I think I need an extra 1/2 inch on this edge here so that I can actually have it attached inside my book. And then I know that I'm going to want to have a 4.5 inch background, and then these will have a border around it. Okay, so that then puts me at 5 inches. I'm going to score at 5 inches. Okay, we're always hoping this works out, right? I'm going to go ahead and fold that as I think this through. What I'm going to need to do, because this is not going to be another 4.5 inches here, I'm going to put my fold at 4.5, and then I go in. This is my scoring board. I have one, but I already have my trimmer out, so I'm just going to use my trimmer. Okay, so far we have this, right? And then I'm going to take another strip of cardstock that's already 4.5 inches tall. And from this point, I'm just going to make 4.5-inch panels. And then I think this is going to come together like I want it to. So I can get, I know what I did. I might not get this to work like I want it to because I'm doing 4.5-inch panels. I'm only getting 2 full-size panels out of each strip because it's a 12-inch piece of paper. All right, so let me see what I'm going to need here next because I need to have 4 places for the photos. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, this is going to work. Okay. I just need to figure out this part here. I am going to cut this flap off. If I cut that flap off, then it's going to be like, so no, I don't want to cut the flap off. I'm going to attach it to the flap because then I want it to open up like this. Are you following this? Okay. So I have made space here for my holes. I still have a 4.5-inch panel, 4.5-inch panel. I'm going to attach this to here right now, and I'll have another 4.5-inch panel. So I'm making sure I do not interfere with my fold so it can still fold open. Okay, I know exactly what's going to happen here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So next decision I need to make. Do I want to keep this flap here? Or I had this piece of music paper, because it's a concert, right? That was going to go on the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off because I don't want to mess with the flap. I could probably do something with that, but we're not going to today. We're just going to trim that out. Okay, so I trimmed off of that flap. I want my music paper to be on the front of this. I know you saw me go ahead and add the glue. I do this all the time. I add the adhesive and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I want to do something else first. Distressing the edges. It's going to have a little bit of lift now on the edge, which I like. Making sure my music notes are upright. Let me grab my punch so I can go ahead and make these holes. I'm just going to line this up here using this page protector as my guide. I just got my hands on this We Are Memory Keepers Power Punch. I love it so much. The main reason I'm a fan is that the holes are your standard 1/4 inch, and I really like that. I just recently realized that they had this, and I highly recommend, especially if you're going, well, it's for any kind of time you're going to add any sort of papers into a 3-ring binder. It's going to trim them the right, pinch them the right size for you. I like it. Let's see, there we go. That's how this is going to look. So far, so good. I'm going to go ahead and place the photos in each of the panels, and then I will come back and show you where we're at. Okay, this is what I have so far. Let's open this the right way, okay? The photos are in place, and I had, this one wasn't quite a square, so I just added in some pattern paper to kind of fill it in. I don't really think it makes a difference if that photo's not the same as the other ones. I have my journaling printed up now, and like I told you, the story wasn't so much about the concert as much it was about how this kid knew how he wanted to pose. So I love this story. I'm super glad I have this story. Okay, so let's just finish this up with some of the ideas I have here. I pulled a couple things together. That's going to fit in there. Super cute. Okay, I'm going to want to clip this closed. So when it's in there, it's not going to be flapping all over the place, and it's going to be acting like a regular page, right? And I punched out the story of today. It's super tiny. It's from the digital kit from Product Play 3. And I thought it would kind of be fun to put on one of these circles here, because this is exactly what this is. This is the story of today. Then for the number for 12, I've showed you this before, the stash of tiny text numbers I have from Bella Boulevard, and these are no longer available. I'm super sorry. I just didn't purchase any new stickers this year. I worked really hard to utilize what I had. And this is just me working through stash and making that work as best it can. And so I wanted to tie this to the top of the clip, a bit of an interactive piece. And so I'm going to do that to finish up day 12. Okay, one more thing I'm going to finish this page up with. I tied this on. I want to show you. I tied this on to the top. So I didn't know whether to kind of leave it loose and let it hang down here, but I think I like it tighter up there so it's not really going to flap around anywhere. And then I wanted to have one more sentiment, and I was thinking of putting it here. I actually think I need to maybe find a gold star to go on and share that space with the date. But I like the idea of having Have a Holly Jolly Christmas, because it's a song and it was one of the songs sung. So I kind of like that there. And that is day 12. If you see that a star has shown up there, you know that I caved in and added a star to day 12. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me as we did page 9, page 10 with this ever so lovely prompt, page 11 was story of my wrap, and page 12, story of Christmas concert and how we went to pose for those photos. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. There are plenty of links below. I would love it if you would subscribe if you don't already, and I'll see you here next time.